Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to BWTM Online. If you are listening to this for the first time or watching us for the first time, please feel free to hit the subscribe button, share this video, and let others know about the channel. We appreciate you. So it's boxing we're talking, and the title is Crawford versus Hearn review, Unable Sanchez, Slave Master Hearn, Whyte v Rivas. And of course, I'm going to talk a little bit about the Daniel Dubois fight that happened on Saturday night. Apologies for not being as consistent as I'd like to be, but there are lots going on behind the scenes. Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to BWTM Online. It's nice to know that we're live and nice and clear. Anyway, okay, so we're going to talk about first Crawford versus Hearn, the review. I've done videos on this beforehand in the preview. The preview was, when will Hearn fans learn? I think Amir Khan fans are as deluded as Amir Khan himself. I say that as to say this. They talk about Amir Khan being fast. They talk about Amir Khan throwing lots of punches together. But Khan fans never talk about his ring IQ. They look past his vulnerabilities. They even look past the most blatant of things that he doesn't take a punch very well, and his ring IQ is terrible. Footwork isn't great, can't fight on the inside, but he's got a big heart. Khan fans seem to forget that, and they feel that he's exception to the rule when it comes to, I don't know, when he fights better opposition. Now, when he fought Crawford, arguably Crawford is the best fighter, rounded fighter that Khan has fought in his career, in my opinion. Faster hands, in my opinion. A one punch, I mean, maybe not a combination, but one punch. I think Crawford's faster to the punch. You think of footwork, ambidextrous, can box from southpaw to orthodox, and has got great pedigree in Crawford, undisputed champion at lightweight. So a guy who fought at a similar weight to Khan, which is at lightweight, and then moved through the ranks and went on to become undisputed champion from lightweight. Went up to middleweight, welterweight, and is now a WBO welterweight champion of the world. So for me, I said very early on that Crawford, don't expect to see Khan go down early in the fight. If Samuel Vargas could drop you early, then be assured that Crawford would catch Khan early, and he did. And once Khan got caught early by Crawford more or less nullified all what Khan could do and took him to school in a way that nobody's taken Khan to school before. Having said that, I don't think Khan is at the peak of his career anymore. I think he's very much on a downhill decline rapidly. If you look at the Samuel Vargas fight, the signs were there, and I don't know how Khan's been living outside the ring, but all that eventually catches up with you. And I said that Crawford would be beating up Khan, and I said this would be a pretty bad beating because you've got a guy who's accurate, fast, powerful, and the nonsense that Steve Bunce was talking before the fight, he's bigger and he's stronger at the weight, and Khan was in there believing because he's bigger and stronger and being at a weight longer, somehow or the other was going to end up turning around and beating Crawford is unbelievable. So because a Rocky Fielding was bigger and stronger, did that mean he was going to beat Canelo? Because Crawler was longer at the weight and bigger at the weight and taller at the weight, did it mean he was going to beat Lomachenko? Hell no. So why bring it up? The reason why commentators and presenters talk about a guy being bigger and stronger at rate when they damn well know they can't win the fight is just to even things up. So casuals who are watching it and people who don't understand boxing will listen and say, oh, he's tall, he's big, he stands a good chance. It's a 50-50 matchup. Otherwise, you won't pay for the pay-per-view. Otherwise, you won't tune in to watch the fight. Otherwise, viewing figures go down. If the commentators were honest and said to you, look, this guy stands no chance of winning the fight, then, I'd have a bit more respect for them. But when they try and take the public for mugs, which they do over and over and over again, I get sick and tired of it. So I tell you as it is. That's why on my channel or on BWTM Online, we try to be impartial and tell you as it is, or tell you as much as close to the truth as possible. Khan was never going to beat Crawford. Never in Manfred Sundays. I would like to see the fight at lightweight. Probably when Khan was at his peak. Yeah, I don't know. But still, Khan would have got beat because Crawford would have picked him apart. Boxing IQ. Boxing IQ. He's not only a better puncher than Khan. He had a better IQ, means he knew his way around the ring a lot better, defensively and offensively. So in every department, Crawford was better. Khan was bigger, but he wasn't stronger. So, and if that's what Crawford did to him, in another sense, I wonder what Brook would do to him. Now, thinking about it, because Brook is heavy-handed, he's big at the weight, physically strong at the weight. I think he would push Khan around like a rag doll, and that's why Khan never wanted that fight with Brook. You see, if Khan got beat by Brook, his career was finished. But if Khan got beat by Crawford, he could say, well, I got beat by undisputed lightweight champion, considered one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world. Yeah, I got beat by one of the best in the world. But people are not really seeing Brook as one of the best in the world. So that's Khan's excuse to kind of drag it out to fight further. Khan is finished. Finito. Done. 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 Khan should be looking to retire now and continue doing the charitable work he's done. Khan is done. Finished. I don't want to see Khan in the ring again. And as for did he quit? Well, listen. If you've been hit in your balls by a guy who hits like Crawford, it's going to hurt. If you get hit in your leg, look, let's break this down for you a second, yeah? Now, the way Khan gets himself out of trouble is through his feet and his legs. If your legs are dead and you're fighting a guy who is looking to thump you up, yeah, who's going to thump you up and you're getting thumped up already and you can't get out of it. Everywhere you move, you're getting punched up. You move left, you're getting punched. You move right, you're getting punched. You threw punches coming forward, you're getting countered. Everywhere you're going, you're getting punched up, yeah? You're getting punched up. And you get whacked on your leg and your leg goes dead. Let's say, okay, it didn't hit his testicle. He got a dead leg. So now you got a box with a dead leg. So you basically got a box with one leg in pain against Terence Crawford. Really? Would you do that? Oh, yeah, I'd do it. Yeah, of course you would. And he got hit in the testicles. Well, fine. All right. So if you got a fight, so why didn't he take the full 5 minutes to recover? Even if he took 10 minutes, well, why didn't he take the time to recover? Why didn't his trainer say, you know what? All right, you got a hit. Take the 5 minutes. Can you take 5 minutes? Can you take 10 minutes? No. But hey, 4.5 million or whatever it was, 5 million. As one trainer said to me, Virgil Hunter and Amir Khan were probably high-fiving in the dressing room or high-fiving at the hotel room. That was quick. That was a smash and grab. Khan avoided getting himself absolutely knocked out and saved himself from further punishment. That's what it is. So, yeah, he's smart. He's smart. Yes. How we doing, champ? How we doing, Marky B? Good to see you both in the room. So, yeah, it's smart what Khan did. The fans can't question his heart because he's shown his heart time and time again. But maybe his heart now also is shop worn. Maybe his heart now is, seen better days. And, who wants to be rendered, you can't move the way you want to move against Terence Crawford? Well, and I want to ask Khan fans, why wasn't Khan throwing at them 5 or 6 punches at a time like he does in all the other fights? Because he bloody well knew as soon as he opened up, he was going to get countered. You can't box. Guy can't box. He can't box in the same level as Crawford. Every time he tried to throw a punch, he was getting countered. Every time. From the first round. Did I not tell you that from the first round, Crawford, he could have stopped this fight in the first 3? No, I said that to you. Go back and listen to my preview. Anyway, so Crawford versus Khan. For me, congratulations, Terence Crawford. I just hope that these people, these casuals who make these ridiculous statements that Khan was going to beat Crawford, will actually sit back and say, well, okay, how did I get that wrong? Why did that guy beat that guy? And actually acknowledge a great fighter in their midst. I really do. Yeah, of course Khan was reaching for his punches, Justin Brown. Of course he was reaching. He can't box. He can't box. 74. He can skate around. He can't box. When he's got against a pure boxer, he can't box. Cannot box. Cannot box. He throws flurries of punches and runs away. That's Khan. Throws flurry punches. He doesn't know when to engage and when not to engage. He drops his hands right in position where he can get nailed. He throws the same punches in a sequence and it's easy to be timed. Once a guy's got 2-3 rounds of Khan, he can be timed. So, but you can see, I can see Crawford versus Brook. That's a fight I can see happening. Crawford versus Brook. Because, you know, Brook's already in America. He's talking about the fight. And that's a good fight to make. Money to be made. Quick defense for Crawford. Crawford Brook. I'll tell you something now. If Brook wants to continue seeing, I have a real serious question marks about Brook and his eyesight out that right eye. Go back and look at Brook's last fight. He was getting tagged with right hands over and over and over again. You know, so I know Khan will say he's unbeaten against Southpaws. Well, yeah, he thought a guy could fight Orthodox and Southpaw. There's a problem there. And what was the game plan? What was the freaking game plan for Khan? Throw your punches out of distance? So, you know, no, Brook probably won't do better than Khan. Not at this stage of his career. I think a prime Kell Brook, the Brook that fought Porter, I'd like to see that Brook fight Crawford. I'd like to see that Brook fight Spence because he was an unbeaten fighter. I think you think this out just for 1 second. Go back and take a think about this. Let me bring my man out. I've still got this up. I just got into this talking and I haven't even. Right. Where is he? He's not even there. There we go. Right. Look at this guy. Khan. Have you seen that picture somewhere before? Ain't you seen that picture somewhere before? He falls down the same way in every fight. Look, same way. Did he fall down the same way like that when he got knocked up by Garcia? Did he fall down that way the same way when he got dropped by Vargas? Did he fall down that same way when he got knocked up by Prescott? The same way. That is a guy that has not learned his lesson for many years. The same way. If you're getting knocked down the same way every time, that means you ain't learning your damn lesson. You're too damn hard-headed. That's the problem there. That's the damn lesson there. But anyway, enough about Crawford and Khan. I expect to see Brook v Crawford pay-per-view, or Brook v Khan. Brook v Crawford and then Brook v Khan. Oh yeah. So, right. Let's move on. Unable Sanchez and GGG. Oh boy. Unable Sanchez and GGG. See, for me, if I'm honest with you, boxing fans, you can see this coming. If you look at the latter stages of most successful fighters, a lot of them either split from their promoter and they self-promote, or self-manage, or they start cutting back on the costs. That's what happens. Now, will GGG be able to honor how many years in his contract? I don't think so. I don't think GGG, is it 4 years? I don't see GGG boxing for the next 4 years. Cut back on costs. And if he's blaming Sanchez for his losses to Canelo, then, then you might as well blame him for everything else as well, for the fight against Jacobs as well, which I thought Jacobs just beat Golovkin. So for me, I just think he's just trying to cut costs. He's trying to bring Freddie Roach in. If he brings Freddie Roach into camp and he gets Freddie Roach to train him, I guarantee you Golovkin will get knocked out. If Freddie Roach ends up training Golovkin, Golovkin will get knocked out. Mark my words. If he trains under Freddie, he'll get knocked out. If you want to get knocked out, go to Freddie Roach's gym. If you want to get knocked out, go to Freddie Roach. Because Freddie Roach don't teach defense. Freddie Roach don't teach game plan. They teach go forward, and go forward. Freddie Roach got Pacquiao knocked out against Marquez, but nobody mentions anything about that. The great Freddie Roach. Remember what I said here. If you go to Freddie Roach's gym, you're getting yourself knocked out. You're guaranteed to get yourself knocked out. Wait, come back to me if you're still with Freddie Roach. Come back to me. We'll talk about that later. Don't say already warned you. Golovkin fans, I warned you. He goes to Freddie Roach's gym, he'll get knocked out. You can't keep taking him count punches over and over and over again in your career against Canelo and everybody else and keep saying you got a good chin. You're going to get yourself knocked out and stopped eventually. I'm telling you. Better fighters than him have got knocked out. So, as for Abel Sanchez, when he decides to answer his phone, I'll do an interview with him. He seems to be unable to keep fighters. He can't keep. He couldn't keep Joe Joyce. He can't keep now Gennady Golovkin. According to Sam Jones, the manager of Joe Joyce, he came out and said, well, I remember when I first spoke to Sam Jones, and Sam, if you're listening, great to have you on the show the other day. Sam said, oh, you hate Abel Sanchez, don't you? I said, no, I don't hate Abel Sanchez. Abel, I started calling him and suddenly he's too busy to answer his phone. So I just haven't bothered calling Abel. That's all it's been. Because, I haven't got time to sit down and ring people up for them not to answer the phone or return the messages. That's how it is. So I just go on. If you can't be bothered, I can't be bothered. So it's simple as that. And so that's what's happened, basically. So that's all. And Abel, as far as I'm concerned, he's lost Joe Joyce. And Sam Jones turned around and said that they've been making too many mistakes and they can't afford to make any more mistakes. So they weren't happy with the Stavern fight. They weren't happy with the way the Stavern fight went. So they've gone to Adam Booth. Golovkin's not happy. His prodigal son has left him. So what's next? Who else is going to leave Abel? I don't know if Andy Ruiz is still with Abel Sanchez. You've got Garcia who's moving up to heavyweight. So we'll wait and see how that all works out. But there's something going on Big Bear. I don't know what it is. That Dave Abel's going a bit loop-the-loop and unable Sanchez to keep fighters. I don't know. I don't know if his costs have gone up. I don't know. But something ain't right. And again, Sam Jones said there's too many mistakes being made. So I'm going to go back to Sam Jones and have a word and talk to him. And if Abel wants to pick up the phone after I message him, more than happy to talk to Abel Sanchez to get to the bottom of what's really going on there. Golovkin also may going down the road of being self-promoted. I mean, look, he's making a comeback now against a guy called Steve Rolls. Who the hell is Steve Rolls? A super middleweight. Who the hell is Steve Rolls? Some knockover job. Because I think they're going to try and get a third fight of Canelo. If Canelo beats Jacobs, that's no foregone conclusion and a great fight. So anyway, let us move on. Right. Who have we got up next? Daniel Dubois. Wow, this was interesting. Well, the shootout between him and the African. Wow. Well, all of you boxing fans out there, I'm talking about the ones who are not totally clued up. I'm not being disrespectful. The ones who are not clued up. The ones who watch Dubois hit a guy and he falls over and they get excited and think, yeah, he's ready for Klitschko or he's ready for Joshua. Whoa. Hold on a second. Bags don't hit back. And the guys generally that Dubois has been fighting so far don't have the ambition to want to hit him back. And even if they try to hit him back, they're getting knocked out. This guy, Latte or Lafty or whatever his name was, who turned up, Richie that turned up, yeah? Richie from Africa that turned up, was going to get blown out in a couple of rounds. That was not part of the script. Dubois looked ugly. Yes, it was exciting for fans. If I'm a promoter, I'm shitting myself. If I'm a manager, I'm shitting myself, right? And if I'm a trainer, I'm shitting myself. Because all it took an African to land one good clean shot on Dubois, and the next morning you'd be saying Dubois was a hype job. And you have to be rebuilding against a guy that nobody really cares about. You have to understand this. You have to understand this. At this stage of Dubois' career, he's having a shootout. That was a life and death struggle in there against a guy that nobody knows about. That's because that guy was throwing punches back. Now, Vlad Tsarenko, check the interview out. Vlad Tsarenko, who we did the interview with before the Dubois fight, I asked him, who would win between Daniel Dubois and Joe Joyce? He said, I've sparred both guys, and it was about a few months between one another. So this one years ago. Both guys are pro. He was sparring Dubois. He sparred Dubois, Povetkin, and Joyce. All right. When he sparred Joyce was the same time that Stavern sparred Joyce. Around that time, yeah? I know because I set the sparring up for Stavern to spar with Sorenko and Visser via Uncle Bashir. And then Sorenko was sparring with Povetkin. Remember I told you that? And then Sorenko was sparring with Joe Joyce. And he said, and Dubois, he said that Dubois is green. He didn't rate Dubois. He said he's strong and he can punch. But he didn't seem to rate Dubois. But he rated Joe Joyce. He said, Joe Joyce, good boxer, heavy-handed. That's Sorenko. And Sorenko said, if the two fight make meet, that Dubois is green. And we saw how green Dubois was on Saturday night. That's the first time Dubois was being attacked or hit back. And you saw he panicked under pressure. And when you panic, you start swinging from the heels. That's panic that's setting. That's a lack of experience there. Maybe when he fights again, he won't be so gung-ho. But if he was doing it against a more experienced heavyweight, he'd step back, flick the jab on him, and put a right hand down the pipe on him. Imagine that was Joe Joyce hitting Dubois on the chin, or Anthony Joshua, or Tyson Fury, or Deontay Wilder, the big hitters in the heavyweight division. What would have had that fight ended up? Dubois didn't flatten his back, and you called him a height job. So while you may find it exciting as a fan, while you may find it interesting, and that's a great fight, from a technical standpoint, it was terrible. From a technical standpoint, it's terrible. There were holes in Dubois' defense. He was ragged. He got turned around by Richard Lartey. And let's be honest, who is he? That was a minimum amount of opposition, and that's what he got back. The guy showed a little bit of ambition, and this is what happened. He thought about fighting Joe Joyce. Are you crazy? Now, I don't know why they're putting Joe Joyce in with Dubois. Sorry, why they're putting Dubois with Joe Joyce. Joe Joyce is an experienced fighter. He's older. And where he might have 8 or 9 fights. To me, Joyce for me is the favourite for this one. Not because he beats Stavern, but because he's the more mature fighter. He had more time boxing in the amateur game, but with that WBS. So he fought the better opposition as a pro. So I don't like it. I don't like what I saw of Dubois in that last fight. And I understand where Sorenko's coming from. Dubois needs to be looked after. That fight, if I were him, I'd rein him back in. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on that. And Daniel Dubois, young man, there's no need to rush this man into world title fights and British and British titles. You need to take the time with this man. He's only, what, 20? 21? Come on. What's the rush? Oh, Frankie boy should know better as well. But we'll see. We'll see. Maybe he wants the investment back. I don't know. Moving on. Who are we going to talk about now? Who should we talk about now? Oh, boy. These two clowns. Eddie and Barry. The Hearns. Well, where do we begin with this bunch? Well, I'll tell you where we begin. We begin way back when I did an interview with Eddie Hearn, where within the first minute he admits he's a bullshitter with a smile and a second-hand car salesman. He admits he was a bullshitter. And from that point, that kind of, well, most promoters are bullshitters, but for the man to bold-facedly look me in the face and say, I'm a bullshitter with a smile, that, in essence, at least he was honest about it. But a lot of people seem to worship Eddie Hearn, like the man that can do no wrong. Where everything man says is like gospel. They, you know, it's Eddie Christ. That's how some boxing fans see Eddie Hearn. He's a promoter, and his job is, and Barry, their jobs are to ensure that the fighter that they have is as well promoted as possible. So they will tell you any, pardon my French, any bullshit for you to believe. Any bullshit. And fans mop it up. They know deep down if a fighter's a good fighter and a fighter's full of crap. They know that. But if their job is to promote, then they're going to do a damn job filling your head with bullshit. With bullshit fights and tell you fights are 50-50 and this is the toughest fight of his career. And yeah, it's a real banana skin fight. And he's unbeaten. You don't know what he's like. He's got an unbeaten record. You just never know what unbeaten fighters like. When you're down, well, no, you've seen him in the gym or you've heard stories. The guy's got no chin. He's got no stamina. Can only see out one eye. Oh, but he's got great eyesight. Oh, daring to be great. All these bullshit lines. When they damn well know the fight's a mismatch. But oh no, can't tell you that because they're selling pay-per-view. And then they've got the nerve, the absolute gall to come out and say boxing fans are mugs. And half of you boxing fans are mugs. Absolute mugs. Because you believe the bullshit that they tell you. And then you have a dig at people like me and others over the YouTube network who have a little bit more sense and say, hey, don't believe the bullshit. Don't believe the bullshit. That's all it is. Don't believe the bullshit. Oh, you got a chip on your shoulder, Eddie Hearn. No, I've not got a chip on my shoulder. I've got a chip on my shoulder for bullshit. And that comes in all sorts of forms and snakes. And that's what it is. That's all it is. Bullshit. So, that's the first part. Well, Hearn was doing a press conference the other day. And, they wheeled him out. Old Bazza came back. And, he was in good form, weren't he? He was in fantastic form, old Bazza. He was telling us how, if you don't like pay-per-view and nobody's coming to your house and telling you to buy pay-per-view, well, you know what should happen? I'll tell you what happens. All you mugs that are buying pay-per-view, don't buy pay-per-view. Stream it and see how long they stay at Sky. See how long they stay with Sky Matchroom. If you decide not to do pay-per-view events, don't do pay-per-view events. Don't pay for pay-per-view. Tell you what, get the illegal stream. And there's always going to be somebody streaming it. Watch it on Facebook. There's always going to be somebody streaming it. And it's out there, right? But if you were to take Bazza's words exactly for what it is, but he knows that there's too many mugs out there because there's no respect for boxing fans. That's the first thing. So he talks that bullshit. Almost reverse psychology. If you don't want it, then you know what? You don't have to have it. That's all. Yeah? You think you can talk that crap? You've got Al Heyman around. You've got Frank Warren around. And there's so many other rival promoters around. You're talking that crap. Okay. That's the first thing. You must have been drunk or something, or high. I don't know. The second thing is, oh, boy. Then you decide to have a dig at Tyson Fury. Well, that was a bad thing to do because Tyson will spin you on your head and Tyson will expose you straight up. So you decide to do that and make a clown of yourself and say, oh, well, Tyson's fighting somebody ranked out the top 10. Well, say what you want about Tom Schwartz. He is ranked number 2 in the world. That's not Tyson's fault. That's the WBO's fault. So, you know what? It was acceptable for Anthony Joshua to fight a man who hadn't fought for 2 years and put him in a world title fight and call that a great fight against a man that had retired 2 years and hadn't fought a fight. But he was better then than when he fought Tyson Fury 2 years earlier and was defending his title and had just come off beating Bryant Jennings. That's the sort of bull crap that these people try to sell you. All right? They look you in your face and tell you this crap and laugh in your face at it. But the greatest statement of them all, oh boy, listen, when he turned around and said, yeah, you know, back in the day, yeah, we were slave masters. I was a slave master back in the day. Yeah, I was. Remember when Chris Eubank was talking all that stuff? Remember? And he was very upset about Bazza and Eddie and the way they were treating Chris. Chris was being treated. Chris Senior's been treated. It's all coming out now, the wash now. And say that those things are in the darkness come out to light. And they certainly have now. See, you've got to think about go back to those interviews Chris Eubank was talking about Barry Hearn back then. And now listen to what Bazza said now. He was basically saying Back in the day, mate, old Dillian, you would have been a slave to a contract. You would have been my slave, you would have been. Yeah, you would have been my slave. So that's the thinking of this man, Barry Hearn. And I'm sure the apple don't fall far from the tree. Father to son. The son becomes the father, father becomes son, that sort of thing. The apple don't fall far from a tree. So it just tells you the mindset of these people, what they really think of themselves. And what it is, these comments that Barry Hearn has made is going to send reverberations around the world. You wait until the Americans pick this crap up about slave contract. You might think you can get away with that crap here in England. Let that stuff get out to America. Ain't nobody going to do it. Well, I tell you what, some people still sign because you know what? They'll turn a blind eye and have no sort of some people got no dignity whatsoever. They will sign to these two, right, because of the money. But their conscience and their souls are even sold out. But if there's any dignity, you wouldn't sign with these guys. You leave them because you know exactly what they're thinking. They're telling you straight up in your face, you would be a slave and we're a slave driver. They don't care. And when he said that, he had no, he didn't feel no shame. It was no apology. He was bragging about it. You would have been a slave, son. And Dillian Whyte sitting right next to him. Dillian Whyte sitting right next to him. I mean, Dillian had to smile it off because I think inside he was like, what? I'm sure inside Dillian's going, what the But listen, I'm being paid some good money here, boy. Silent inside, he must say, what the is going on here? I mean, and he's come out on camera and he said that. Could you imagine what he thinks behind closed doors? God only knows. Where did it wheel this guy from anyway? I'm telling you, where is this going? You can't look at Barry Hearn anymore without thinking slave master. And his son ain't far from it off. And all that stuff. Remember what Deontay Wilder was saying? People were criticizing Deontay Wilder for saying, oh, the white man and Anthony Joshua serving the white man and all this crap. But when you think of the context of what he was saying it in, and then you see what Barry Hearn has just said, and Eddie Hearn has just said, it makes you wonder a little further, doesn't it? Yeah, but Shelley Finkel's white, isn't he? Mentality is a lot different. Mentality is very different. Because if Shelley Finkel was anything like that, you can be assured that Deontay would have nothing to do with him, regardless of the money. Because Deontay, as far as I'm concerned, is a principled man. So, I don't think this Barry Hearn thing's comment's going to get away. It's going to land him in a lot of hot water. But, you know, if I think I've got the money, I'll pay it off, no problems. You need to wheel that man away and put him, whatever cave he's come from, put him back there. He's what you call, I used to call it hype room. I'm not going to call it shite room. Shite room, that's what it is now. I don't care. I don't want to come to shitty press conferences. I'm not interested in press conferences. I'm not interested in shitty fights. Not interested. And after this today, glad. Don't want to see you. Not interested in what you got to say. Because really and truly, that's how you really feel. And you know one thing I will say about Barry Hearn, at least he's honest. Bazza, the one thing I respect about you is that you're honest. But there's some racist people within boxing. I tell you they're racist. Right up. Straight up racist. I'm not going to call their names. I'm going to let them save their face, but they know who they are. They know who they are. They know what they're about, and they're as racist as they come. Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah, they've been sacked a few times as well. They know who they are, and I can't stand them. But I got one up on you, and you know I got one up on you. And I hope you're listening, because I hope it burns you. But anyway, that's beside the point. It's disgusting, absolutely disgusting. In this day and age, that a man can come up and talk about being a slave master and brag about it. I now have to call you Mr. Dillian Whyte. Well, as far as I'm concerned, back in my day, you would have been a slave. In fact, you still are a bloody slave. I'll call you Mr. Dillian Whyte. Oh dear. Oh dear. Well, at least Dave Allen beat Lucas Brown, eh? And at least we've got Dave Allen versus Lucas Brown. I mean, against Dave Price now. At least we've got that to look forward to. Which